What's up, you guys? Welcome back to another one. If you're new to the channel, I am Wolf Pony. I do new car, truck, SUV reviews on YouTube, and today we're in the brand new 2025 Hyundai Venue, courtesy of Jack Gio and Volvo Hyundai in York, PA. For more information on their inventory, please feel free to check out the link in the description box below. So today we are in the brand new 2025 Venue because there is a new color for 2025. That's not really the reason, but this one actually starts at only $20,000, which is pretty darn impressive these days. You do get America's best warranty, being 5 years, 60,000 mile bumper to bumper, 10 years, 100,000 miles on the powertrain. You can't beat that. You also get 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance as well. So that's going to save you some money there too. But ultimately in this video, we will be testing out and going over everything about this one, from acceleration to braking, steering feel, ride quality, sound system, exhaust clip, all that fun stuff. So having said all of that, what do you guys say? Let's just go ahead and jump right into it. And as always, let's start with pricing. And so, as you can imagine, there are a few different trim levels for the 2025 Venue. First one being the SE, starting at $20,000 even, which is a modest $200 bump from the 2024 model year. Got the SEL for $22,000, and lastly, the Limited, being the one we are in today, starting at $23,250. But regardless of the trim level that you go with, the power plant on the Venue is going to be the same. Powering the little beast is a 1.6 liter naturally aspirated inline 4-cylinder, putting out 121 horsepower at 6,300 RPM, 113 pound-feet of torque coming in at 4,500 RPM. That power being sent to the front wheels through a continuously variable transmission. 0 to 60 time coming in at approximately 8.8 seconds, with MPG numbers coming in at 29 in the city, 33 on the highway, taking regular unleaded fuel. So before we do any kind of fun acceleration test here in the Venue, did want to mention to you guys the drive modes. There's actually a circular dial located just behind the shifter. And by the way, those drive modes come on the SEL and Limited trim levels only, but they're going to include normal, sport, and snow, adjusting things like the shift points, the throttle response, and the steering sensitivity. So now having got all of that out of the way, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and find a straightaway. Let's put that acceleration here to the test, and let's see how quickly we can get our new 2025 Hyundai Venue up to speed. All right, we got it in sport driving mode. This is going to be a little bit of an uphill climb, but let's kick it. Ah, it's slipping. Loud. You know what? It gets the job done. 0 to 60 and 8.8. It's nothing that you're going to brag to somebody about if you want to impress somebody, but you know what? It gets the job done, and sometimes that's just as good. But anyways, to go along with that acceleration, as always, braking is equally important. And so interestingly enough, the braking configuration is going to differ amongst the trim levels. So for example, if you go with that SE trim level, you will find front disc rear drum brakes. If you were to go with the SEL or Limited, you're going to get 4-wheel disc brakes. So that's going to be a substantial difference there. In terms of the 60 to 0 stopping distance, that comes in an insanely impressive 112 feet, since nobody's really behind us. Wow, I love the brakes. Dang, this is a super firm braking feel here in the Venue. A lot of times with SUVs, not that this really is technically a real SUV, but a lot of times with SUVs, it's a very soft braking feel. So I love the firm braking feel on this thing because it definitely brings you to quite a quick stop. And that 60 0 and 112 foot, that's a sports sedan number, you guys. That's definitely going to get the job done. But anyways, then touching on suspension and handling, up front, you're going to get a McPherson strut front suspension. In the back, coupled torsion beam rear axle, gas pressurized shock absorbers, of course. As far as ride quality goes, I will say in this particular segment, you do tend to feel a little bit more of the road. So there is that. You can feel a decent amount of the road. It's not meant that would personally bother me, but it's not as good as the Elantra, I'll just put it that way. As far as steering feel goes, that is going to adjust dependent upon the drive mode that you put it in. If you want a heavier steering feel, put it in that sport driving mode. If you wanted a looser steering feel, put it back to normal. That's essentially how that's going to work, a little something for everybody. As far as cabin noise goes, it's actually surprising me. It's kind of noisy in here, not just the engine during that acceleration, but I'm getting a lot of wind noise, a lot of road noise from the salt being kicked up. So it's not the quietest thing in the world, but I didn't expect it to be, but just know that's there. And touching our rear visibility, because of the shape of the Venue, you're definitely not going to have any issues there. Visibility is 100% on point. But that pretty much rounds out the performance segment of this review, you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the exterior of our brand new 2025 Hyundai Venue. All right, so here she is, you guys, the new 2025 Hyundai Venue, finished in electronic gray, in case you were curious of our exact exterior color name that we have with us here. But as far as that new color goes, it's called Mirage Green. It's going to be replacing green apple for 2025. So if you wanted the latest and greatest color option for 2025, I suppose it is Mirage Green this year. But as always, let's go ahead and start with where the Venue is made. Taking a look at the VIN, first character is the letter K, indicating that the new Venue is built and assembled in Korea, as it should be. But starting up front, chrome rectangular pattern for the SEL and Limited. Otherwise, you're going to get kind of like a matte black pattern up front. Projector style halogen headlights to the sides for the SE and SEL trim levels. LED headlights with LED daytime running lights then for the Limited. Either way, you get the automatic feature. You get automatic high beams as well. So if you have your high beams on at night, then since the vehicle coming in the opposite direction, it's going to automatically dim them back to low beams. Then when that vehicle is gone, it's going to automatically bounce it back up the high beams for you there. You're going to find a body colored front lip with some silver accents for the Limited that we have with us here. Also wanted to mention to you guys, if you take a look at the headlights are actually located down below. Up top is actually going to be the daytime running lights, in case you were curious about that. But anyways, that pretty much rounds out the front end of the Venue. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the side. All right, so now since we are around to the side of the Venue here, silver roof rails for the SEL and Limited trim levels. You're going to find a two-toned exterior with a white roof available for the Limited. We kind of have a black roof available on this particular one that we have today, but I think it definitely looks good. Black window surrounds for all trim levels. You're going to find body colored power adjustable side mirrors coming standard. You will get integrated turn signals found on the front fender, so that's something that that JDM cars did back in the day actually, so I always loved that look. Then take a look down at the wheel setup. 15-inch alloys for the SE and then 17-inch alloys for the SEL and Limited trim levels. But that pretty much rounds out the side profile. Let's now go ahead and swing around to the back. All right, so now since we are around to the back of this one, all the way up top, you actually will find just a straight up antenna. You don't see that often. Usually it's like a shark fin antenna, but regular old antenna for this one. Just below that, you're going to find a rear spoiler. You got a kind of a center high mount stop lamp just below that. LED taillights coming for the Limited trim level only if you wanted that extra illumination at night there. You got the Venue lettering spelled out horizontally, and then just below there is a single exhaust outlet. However, it is tucked away. So having said that, I do believe you guys know what we have to do next here. As always, here is that exhaust clip. All right, so now since we are around to the back of the Venue, when it comes to opening that rear lift gate, it is going to be a manual lift gate for all trim levels across the board. So simply just lift up on the back. It is going to open up for you, but once opened up, cargo capacity comes in at 18.7 cubic feet. If that was not enough space, there is a 60-40 split, meaning the rear seats do fold down for quite a bit of extra space then if you needed it. There is a rear cargo cover that comes standard back there. You're going to find some cargo lighting. There's actually a grocery bag hook on the back driver's side in the cargo area as well. I liked seeing that. Tie-down anchors back there, and then if you were to lift up underneath of the cargo floor, you will find a spare tire, and there's actually a decent amount of in-floor storage surrounding that as well. You could probably put an ice scraper or something like that back there if you wanted to. So then making our way up to the rear legroom, that is going to come in at 34.3 inches. For reference, I'm an even 6 feet tall. This is how much space I had in the back there. Dual rear USB charging ports for the SEL and Limited trim levels. Love seeing that. So that's not something you usually see in a vehicle of this price range. No rear ventilation, you never see that. And no rear center armrest with cup holders or anything like that either, unfortunately. But then making our way up to the front seats. Manually adjustable front seats for all trim levels. You're going to find cloth seating for the SE and SEL, and then kind of a cloth leather combo for the Limited trim level that we have today. Also heated front seats for the Limited trim level that we have today. I should turn them on. It's freezing out. It's snowing out, so completely forgot about this. That's pretty cool. As far as seat comfort goes, it's okay. Not the very most comfortable seats, but they're not absolutely horrible either. They're just kind of average, so nothing crazy there. But then let's go ahead and take a look at the steering wheel. It is tilt and telescoping, and then it is going to be leather wrapped for the SEL and Limited. Now let me go ahead and show you guys the key. You got all of your buttons are located on one side of the key: lock, unlock, and that circular button that says hold. That is a remote start. I love that. And also Keyless entry with the push button start is going to come on the SEL and Limited. Going to get the turnkey start for the SE, but all I'm going to do here is simply put my foot on the brake and press that engine start button located just by the driver's right knee. And so, but then once started up, this is a pretty stinking cool looking gauge cluster. It's a full digital gauge cluster. I like the colors. I'm just gonna say that. It's like the cyan blue and it looks so dang good. And then when you change the drive mode, if I were to put it in sport, kind of changes up to a bunch of red hues. But honestly, I love the blue look up there. I think it looks so dang good. You have your outside temperature. You have tire pressure information for each individual tire. There's steering wheel mounted controls, by the way. You can control what is actually up there. There's trip A, trip B, of course. How many miles you have left until you hit empty. The list goes on. So pretty much everything you could possibly want on a digital gauge cluster. But now let's go ahead and make our way to overall interior quality. If you wanted a power sunroof, that is going to come on the SEL trim level. Dual zone climate control for the SEL and Limited trims. Wireless phone charger for the Limited. That's pretty sticking cool. Dual USB charging ports for all trim levels across the board. I actually have my other battery for my camera charging up right now, so I like that. I like the little bit of storage found just above the passenger side glove box right there. Just behind the shifter, you have a couple cup holders, of course, and then within the center armrest, it's a decent amount of storage in there. I wouldn't have any issues with that, but a lot of black plastics on this thing, specifically the door handles, and a lot of hard touch plastic on the doors themselves, but that's to be expected in a car of this price range, so really you shouldn't have any issues there either. But let's go ahead and take a look at the infotainment screen now. It is a 8-inch color touchscreen display for all trim levels across the board. You got Bluetooth and audio streaming up there. You got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay. It's going to be wireless for the SE and SEL trims. And then a factory navigation system is actually going to come on the Limited trim level. You got a voice memo system up there. I always like to mention that with Hyundai because I think it's cool. You can record your voice and then play it back at a later date. And I did that once. I said, congratulations on your new car, and I left it there. So whoever bought that car that I reviewed is going to hear that, which is pretty stinking cool, I think. So anyways, then you can check out your radio information up there as well. So when it comes to the sound system, there is one of them, and it is a 6-speaker sound system for all trim levels across the board. So having said that, what do you guys say? Let's go ahead and turn on the radio. Let's see what we got playing today, and let's test out the clarity of this one. That's actually not that bad. For a 6-speaker sound system, that was decent. I've heard worse for a 6-speaker sound system, I'll put it that way. It was a decent amount of bass. Clarity was okay. It was pretty good for a 6-speaker sound system, so yeah, it's actually not that bad. I didn't mind that, but anyways, last thing I wanted to mention to you guys on that infotainment screen is when you do put the Venue in reverse, you will find a rear view camera coming standard across the board, letting you know who or what is behind you, which is always is going to lead us into safety. And so front side curtain airbags do come standard. In the back, you're going to have latch, aka lower anchors and tethers to children for the rear car seats, rear child door locks, tire pressure monitoring system, but also coming standard, forward collision avoidance assist with pedestrian detection, lane keep assist, and then a driver intention warning system as well. Then if you were to go with the SEL or Limited, you're going to add to that a blind spot monitoring system with rear cross traffic alert. So overall, when it comes to my final thoughts here of the Venue, I think the thing that really stands out is the value that you get with the Venue. So you get America's best warranty, you get 3 years and 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance, you get a base starting price of $20,000, and even our Limited that we have today is only $23,000 and some change. So that's not that bad either, quite honestly. So yeah, honestly, it's a pretty good deal these days. Like, you get a lot that comes with that. Also, wireless Android Auto, Apple CarPlay is available. That's pretty darn cool. The digital gauge cluster looks pretty darn good in my opinion as well. I think the only thing I could think of to make this particular car even better, well, two things. Okay, first thing, ambient lighting. I always say that. If it doesn't have any ambient lighting, I want them to add it because I like ambient lighting. Also, the main thing though, I think an all-wheel drive option would be pretty stinking cool. Now, not everybody has to get it. You still come standard with front-wheel drive, but to have an optional all-wheel drive, for somebody like me that's sitting in snow right now, not that you can't drive in a front-wheel drive vehicle in snow, you definitely get used to it, but all-wheel drive is just so much better. Anyways, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Feel free to follow me on social media stuff somewhere on the screen. Be sure to hit the subscribe and the bell notification button if you're into new car reviews. That is what we do here on this channel after all. Do appreciate you guys watching more than you know. I will see you guys all in the next video. Stay going.